Hello guys, it is Nathan Sutton doing a movie review called The BIONICLE Mask of Light, the movie. I got this movie when I was 5 years old, and I enjoyed the movie when I watched it. And directors with Terry and the other guy, can't remember his name, was David Clutch, was it? I don't know. But yes, I'm going to try and review this as much as I can, tell you how much I like the movie or dislike the movie. The hero will be revealed. Anyway, the movie starts off when Takua is looking... No, sorry, I take that back. The movie starts off with Jala looking for Takua, walking down through Takuro, and then we see Takua looking at a totem stone. And then he goes through the lava, picks up the totem stone, drops it, lands in the lava, try to grab it, but then the mask comes out to be the Mask of Light. So the mask chose Takua to be the chosen one for the Mask of Light, but then they kind of hide it from the Toa at first, and then the lava and the volcano starts going crazy, and then he throws the mask to Jala, and then he comes out through the lava. And then what I forgot to mention, the movie also starts off with the 2001 style when Makuta and Matanui background story. We already knew all this. Anyway, going back to Takua and Jala, Tahu saves Takua's life and then goes through the lava about 7 or 8 seconds, climbs through the lava fall, and then starts to, And then we move on to the Coley match. It was a great intro for it. And then the mask comes out and B's revealed, and then Tahu believes the chosen one was Jala because he was the first person who had the mask with him. And then Vakama sent off a quest to look for the 7th Toa, but 7th Toa cannot be found because he's actually not because he's not in the other Toas to be found. He's actually Takua, which is pretty obvious. And then Jala forces Takua to come with them, then Vakama let him off. Pohatu walks over to Onokoro, and then the adventure begins. It kind of reminds us of Lord of the Rings, Frodo gets let off with the ring, but he's not the chosen one. And then through the movie, Makuta releases the Roxy, right? Releases the Roxy out of his legs. He pulls the Krata out of his legs, then releases the Roxy. And then the battle begins in Takuro, and then Takuro gets destroyed. And then we go through the jungle with Jala and Takua. Takua complains about the jungle, and then Jala tries to calm him down. What story does he have? And then we go and see an ash bear gets attacked by it, but then Liwa comes up and saves the day with a horrific voice that no one actually liked. I like Liwa, but I'm not a big fan of the voice actor for him. Not really. I think LJ from the TTV podcast could be a best voice actor for Liwa, because he sounds like the right person, actually. I mean, he knows Liwa so well, so why not? And then Liwa takes him off to Kokoro, and then they walks through the Kokoro. They see Borok and Borok Coal. If you actually look carefully, you'll see Borok Coal hand piece thing, and then you'll see other Borok there. Kopaka shows up, leads him off, comes to Tahu, complains about his dead village, comes back to Jala, Kopaka, and Takua, walks over, gets attacked by Roxy, and then Kopaka was like knocked out, comes back, saves the Matoran, and then walks off. Then they go to the cave. Makuta's shadowness shows up. Takua and Jala splits up, and then they not friends anymore. Takua goes to Onokoro, sees Pohatu and Onua. Roxy shows up. The battle shows up once again with the Roxy. Instead, they are like black, white, red, which they're cool. I love those Roxy. The only one I have out of the Roxy is the Lee Rock. I think that's the green one's called. I think the green one's name, Lee Rock. Tarok, I believe that's what they call the red one, and Pan Rock was what they call the brown Roxy. Correct me if I'm wrong. In the comments, not comics. And then Onua pretty much is a very exciting Toa, along with Pohatu. I enjoyed his voice actor. I love Scott McNeil's voice with Tahu and Onua. They're awesome. Onua has this really deep voice compared to Optimus Prime in Transformers, the Peter Cullen one, which he's always awesome. Anyway, Takua finds Jala when he's lost, becomes friends again. Then they led off to Kininui, which is the last place they go to. And then Tahu was poisoned by Lee Rock. Gali saves his life. Kopaka Liwa pretty much heals him, and Gali did the rest. And then at the end, Takua Jala meets up with the 6 Roxy once again, all Roxy united, and then Takua says he's the 7th Toa, and then Jala is now confused because he was told he's the legendary Toa according to Tahu and Vakama, but Jala knew he wasn't the from the start. He knew he wasn't the 7th Toa because he figured it would have been Takua, because he's the one who found the totem in the first place. And then defeats the 6 Roxy with 6 united Toa. Jala dies. Takua puts the mask on, becomes Takanuva. Kills Tarok and made Usanui out of the 6 Roxy parts. And it seems like they used Borok parts, actually. Borok or Borokol parts. Because there are a bit of Borok and Borokol mixed with the Roxy. And then the mask Holly puts on, and then, yeah. Then Takanuva goes to Makuta's lair. I don't know how he even knows. Apparently he's got a map in his head all the way with Matanui to Makuta's lair, I suppose. Makes sense, because he is the chosen one. And then basically found it. Holly somehow snucks out from the Usanui. Don't know how she even fits in the trunk or the front part, I don't know. She came out to be a messenger, which I know she's actually originated to be a chronicler. And then, yeah. Takua goes to Makuta, sends Holly back to the tower. Holly gives him a very important, sad message. And then, pretty much, yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention, forgot to mention, this contains spoilers. If you don't care, then good. Because this movie's 11 years old. And then, And then this weird calling match between Makuta and Takenuva, which I don't understand why. It would have been best if they actually had a fair fight like Megatron and Prime did. Be better. Coley match thing between Takenuva and Makuta doesn't feel quite right. But that's the way I grew on with. Holly gets the Taraga and the Tawa into Makuta's lair. Somehow they know where to find it because Holly knows where the location is exactly somehow. And then, yeah. Takenuva defeats Makuta by merging into, get ready, Takutanuva, which is a really cool name but kind of ridiculous. Not a big fan with Takutanuva. Opens the gate, gets crushed, Takenuva dies. But before he dies, he revives Darla. Then he dies. And then Vakama revives Takenuva with a Unity, Duty, Destiny. And then at the end of the movie, that is the way of the Bionicle. Now, what do I think of this movie? This movie is pretty fantastic. I love the movie. I love this story. The movie contains 17 minutes. I really wish this movie went for like 2 hours, because it'd be like more fun because you got the borrowed coal added to, and then Toa try to get the powers out. But no, this is basically based after the Dawn of the Borok Coal storyline. I really wish there was a movie for 2001, 2, and the Borok Coal part 6, 7, 8, and the first half of 2009 with the Glatorian before Martinelli showed up, and 2010, which they were planning to, but turns out they didn't. But we had the video game for 2006 Bionicle Heroes with the Inika or Inika, whatever you call his name. So yeah, this movie good. I highly recommend you go on eBay or Amazon, find it brand new. If you can't find it, go on eBay. No, go on YouTube, because it's out now on YouTube with a couple of people as videos. At the back of the DVD, Tahu is surfing on lava, which is pretty cool. Front DVD, yep, the toy mask and the movie Takua or Takenuva. That's the back of it. There's the DVD. Same thing from the start. And apparently adult themes, which there's not really much in this movie. I really wish the surfing was longer. I really wish it took its time. Well, it had its time, but yeah. I give this movie of a rating 8 out of 10 because the movie was a little short. That's one. And Tahu surfing on lava was very, very short. So I highly recommend more to the story, but that's how the movie ends. It had to be a 1 hour movie because kids are probably gonna get bored after a while. I don't know. I had fun with this movie. It's a pretty fantastic movie, and highly recommend you people to watch it because you won't regret it. There might be some scenes that you will regret by looking at. Not to mention the Coley battle between Makuta and Takenuva. I really wish they introduce Hafu, Maku, and Huki a lot better, like they did with Holly. And Kopik and Watoro weren't even in the movie, unlike they were the toy. But yeah, this is your very first Lego movie, your very first Bionicle DVD. It is I, Nathan Sutton. I will review Bionicle Mask of Light on the 19th of October next year. See you there.